Some emergency calls are never answered, not because no one was there, not because the system was broken, but because the system was working exactly as designed. This isn't a theory. It's not a failure. It's simply by calculation. What we are told about emergencies. We are taught that emergency numbers exist for one reason. If something goes wrong, help is on the way. You call, someone answers, someone responds. That's the theory. But emergency response systems were never built to answer every single call. They were built to survive overload. And those are very different goals. The real problem? Every emergency system faces the same unavoidable issue. Emergencies do not arrive evenly. They cluster, they spike, they overwhelm. Disasters, mass accidents, heat waves, blackouts all create more calls than any system can physically handle. Building a system that answers every call will require infinite staffing, infinite funding, and constant readiness for worst-case scenarios. So instead, designers do something else. They decide how many calls won't be answered. The triage is not just medical. Most people associate triage with hospitals. Who gets treated first, who can wait, who might not make it. But triage starts much earlier. Before an ambulance is dispatched, before a responder is notified. It starts at the phone line. Emergency systems are designed with call abandonment thresholds. The number of calls the system expects people to hang up on. Some callers will try again, some will find another way, some won't. That loss is anticipated, modeled, and accepted. The unanswered call. When call volume exceeds capacity, systems don't collapse. They queue. Calls are placed on hold, routed, or delayed. And after a certain point, people disconnect. From a design perspective, this isn't a malfunction. It's load shedding. Just like power grids shut off electricity to prevent total failure, emergency systems shed calls to prevent collapse. The unanswered call isn't ignored. It's absorbed. Why this is considered a success? From an operational standpoint, a system that answers some calls is better than one that fails completely. Designers prioritize calls that reconnect, calls from multiple sources, calls reporting large-scale danger. Single isolated calls during peak overload are statistically less likely to receive immediate attention. Not because they matter less, but because the system cannot treat all emergencies as equal. Efficiency then replaces fairness. What the data doesn't show to the public. Metrics track response times, answers calls, dispatch rates. They rarely track outcomes for the calls that never reconnect. Those people disappear from the system, not erased, just unanswered. And what isn't measured doesn't affect performance report. On paper, the system worked. Why this is never explained to the public. Public trust depends on a simple belief. If you call, someone will answer. That's the public trust. Explaining overload logic would weaken the trust. So the design remains invisible. The system functions best when users don't understand its limits, not out of evil means, but out of necessity. The uncomfortable reality. Emergency systems are not built for individuals. They are built for populations. That distinction matters. A system optimized for the greatest number of survivors will always allow some losses. Those losses are not accidental, they are statistical. When an emergency call goes unanswered, it doesn't mean the system failed. It simply means demand exceeded tolerance. The unanswered call wasn't a mistake. It was part of the design. And this system only works because people never realize it. In the comment section, share with me if you've ever had an experience where you needed response from an emergency for an emergency situation, but it never got resolved or you never got answered. If you like reality or these system design stories and how they work, kindly subscribe to this page. And the next design system is even mind busting. Thank you.